What unfolds when a charismatic pastor harboring deep secrets encounters a desperate woman with nothing left to lose? Will the truth bring liberation, or will it shatter everything? Sit back, grab your popcorn, and journey with us through this riveting real-life account. In a bustling Nigerian city stood a highly esteemed clergyman named Reverend John. His church was among the most attended in the region, drawing people from far and wide every Sunday. Crowds overflowed beyond the church walls, eager to hear his sermons. His voice carried authority, and his messages touched the soul. Many believed he had a divine connection. He ministered to the sick, supported the less fortunate, and presided over countless wedding ceremonies. Yet, behind the sanctuary doors, Reverend John lived a double life. Secrets darker than night lingered in the shadows of his ministry. One evening, after a midweek service, Reverend John reclined in his lavish office. The room was scented with costly cologne. A timid young church assistant entered after a soft knock. "Pastor, the elders would like a word," the assistant said respectfully. John smiled warmly, though his eyes remained cold. "Tell them I'll be with them shortly." As the assistant departed, John's phone buzzed. A message flashed across the screen from an unknown number. "The Almighty sees all. Change your path before it's too late." He stared at the words, smirked, and casually deleted the text before returning to his paperwork. Enter Amaka, a young woman full of aspirations. She had recently been hired as Reverend John's personal assistant, while many envied her new role. For Amaka, it was a lifeline. Her mother was gravely ill and needed constant care. The income was essential, yet Amaka carried a hidden truth. She was living with HIV. She had told no one, not even her closest friends. On her first day, she dressed modestly in a pink blouse and blue skirt, gently knocked on the pastor's door. "Come in," his deep voice called. "Good afternoon, sir," she greeted, masking her nerves with a smile. John returned her smile and rose to shake her hand. "You must be Amaka. Welcome. I've heard positive things about you." "Thank you, sir," she replied, her tone polite. "This role requires dedication and loyalty," he said seriously. "Are you ready to give your all to the ministry?" "Yes, sir. I'm prepared," she said with conviction. "Excellent. Here, we're like family. We protect one another. If you ever face an issue, come straight to me. Understood?" "Yes, sir. Thank you." She nodded. Yet, as she left his office, a feeling of unease settled over her. Something about his smile felt rehearsed, like a fad masking something sinister. In the initial weeks, everything seemed fine. Amaka quickly adapted scheduling meetings, managing correspondence, and organizing events. Her commitment didn't go unnoticed. "You're doing well," Reverend John complimented one afternoon. "Efficient and intelligent. I wish all my staff were like you." "Thank you, sir," she replied graciously. But slowly, she began to sense a shift. Compliments became increasingly personal. "You look radiant today," he remarked one morning. "That color truly suits you." "Thank you, sir," she said, uncomfortable but unsure how to respond. One evening, as she was packing to leave, John called her back. "Have a seat," he gestured. She obeyed, unsure. "You're not just talented, Amaka," he said, leaning forward. "You're exceptional. Rare. Do people tell you how beautiful you are?" "I don't dwell on that, sir. I focus on my duties," she responded carefully. His gaze lingered longer than necessary. "That's admirable, but you must recognize your worth. A woman like you should be appreciated." She stood quickly. "I'll complete the assignment before tomorrow." "Don't rush off," he said. "You know you can trust me, right?" "Yes, sir." She forced a smile and left. That night, she lay awake, haunted by his words and glances. Was this a pattern? Was she being tested? As weeks passed, his advances escalated. One day, he held her hand during a conversation. "You possess grace and charm. Traits that are rare." She pulled away. "Sir, let's stay focused on work. Opportunities like yours don't come twice," he said, his tone shifting. "Sir, I'm here for the job only." His eyes narrowed. "Many would give anything to be in your place. If you want to remain, consider being more adaptable." "I don't understand," she said, though the implication was clear. "Oh, you do," he said with a dry chuckle. "If there's nothing else, I'll return to my duties," she said firmly. "Go, but remember loyalty matters." As weeks passed, his advances escalated. A week later, Amaka received a dismissal letter. Confused and devastated, she approached his office only to be stopped by his guards. "He's occupied," they said. Tears welled in her eyes as she gathered her belongings and left the church. Her mother's needs weighed heavily on her heart. Despite her job search, doors remained closed. Hunger and hopelessness gnawed at her, driven by desperation. Amaka returned to the church. She humbled herself and asked for her job back. "So you've come back?" John asked, smirking. "Please, sir, I need this job," she said, voice quivering. "You turned down my kindness before," he said, eyes narrowing. "I'm sorry, sir. I'll do whatever it takes." His expression shifted. "Anything?" She nodded. "Return Monday. But remember, respect and loyalty are non-negotiable." Amako agreed. This time, she would play it smart. She began recording conversations and saving every message. Eventually, he invited her to meet outside the office. 81st. It was awkward. She pretended to comply, driven by necessity, and her plan. Weeks passed. He continued calling her, always unprotected. "God shields his servants," he claimed arrogantly. Amaka quietly documented everything, her resolve growing with each meeting. At home, John's wife, Grace, noticed his change. More late nights, more secrets, suspicious. She confronted Amaka, who denied any wrongdoing. Grace, unconvinced, hired an investigator. 2 weeks later, photos arrived. Grace stared at the undeniable truth. She waited for the right moment. At a church meeting with the elders, Grace stormed in and exposed the affair with photos. "You've shamed this church," one elder said sternly. Amaka stood frozen. Her world was unraveling. Soon after, police arrived at Amaka's home. "You're under arrest for knowingly transmitting HIV," an officer stated. At the station, she presented evidence, recordings, texts, proof of coercion. The case made headlines. In court, John's image shattered. More women came forward, revealing similar encounters. With mounting testimony, the judge ruled Amaka innocent. The real predator had been unmasked. As Amaka exited the courtroom, whispers surrounded her. She looked skyward, a terror in her eye but hope in her heart. Her journey was far from over, but this time she would walk it with strength, dignity, and purpose.